Hello, my beautiful blues, the Blu-ray souls. This is my second video devoted to my beautiful blues. I did a video and it was called, it was Blu-ray Souls Come Out of the Shadows. And that was in January 2018. And that video is still pertinent and relevant, so I suggest you scroll through my video history. It's all on this channel and it's January 2018. But this is, I'm going to update or expand on the characteristics that I shared in that video. I will repeat some of them in this video because for some of you this is brand new information. Being a Blu-ray soul, the most pertinent thing for you will be energy, communication. Think of the blue of your throat chakra. This energy center is your strongest point. It's your gift to the world. It's using your articulation, expressing yourself, clear communication skills. When a Blu-ray expresses themselves, speaks from the heart, it's powerful. It's very, very powerful. Their words can be like poetry. They're brilliant at poetry, actually. They're brilliant writers because, again, writing is an expression of the communication of the throat and the heart combined especially. But this being your strongest point, blue, my Blu-ray friend, it can also be your weakest. A Blu-ray who is highly functioning will speak their emotions, their feelings, their opinions with ease. And as I said, quite eloquently. However, if you're blocked as a Blu-ray, you'll find that when you're asked to speak, you get nervous, you get sweaty, you clog up, you block up, and you're not able to flow the way that you want. So it's very important that we nourish the throat and that we honor our feelings and allow the throat to keep the energy moving and clear, because you are here to express yourself and you're here to share your creative ideas. Blu-rays often make wonderful singers. They have very, very special tones in their voices. They're also brilliant at toning and using their voice as a healing tool, as a healing method in holistic therapies, in healing work, energy therapy, shamanism. You know, they're brilliant at chanting. They're brilliant at speaking in tongues, if you will, or the more modern term for that is light language, you know, speaking the galactic, cosmic light language of the soul. Blues are great with this. Again, if you're blue who you feel isn't living up to your full potential, you will often develop a lot of sore throats and have throat issues or thyroid issues. So that's somebody who maybe has fear around singing, expressing, communicating, or, you know, guiding others. Blu-rays are brilliant teachers, and this is part of the communication skills I'm talking about. Absolutely fantastic teachers. They're quiet people, usually introvert, but like the indigo soul, when they get up to teach and they step into their soul role, I like that, soul role, yeah, into your soul role, you will channel beautifully. And it's, you know, that's the channeling, that's the throat chakra, that's the throat and speaking from the heart and the soul flowing in and source flowing in. This is a beautiful channeling of higher energies and higher wisdom. Blu-rays are very wise. They are old souls, they're wise, they're very tuned in, very, very good at reading energy. Now, if you looked at my indigo video, you'll notice that there are some similarities between the blues and the indigo. And again, the blues are very connected to the throat, okay? And then obviously the indigos are connected to the middle eye. So they're like cousins of each other. You know, there's a connection here where There's a bridge, there's similarities, but not completely the same. Blue rays, I find, in comparison to indigos, are quieter, gentler. They would deliver their message very gently. Still not saying that they can't be succinct and to the point, because they can. But overall, in the way they carry themselves in the world, they wouldn't have such obvious leadership energy about them as the indigos. But they are leaders, and they are born teachers, and they are here to guide and to help and to provide wisdom and enlightenment. So some people can get confused between the two. Again, as I said with all these videos around labels, please don't get hung up on labels. Don't make it a serious thing. It's just, it's nice to have a sense of where we come from. We like to know our different cultures. We like to know about our heritage, our lineage, our ancestors. And that's why I'm doing these videos, not because anybody is better than anybody else. All souls are equal. We are all equal energy. We're all thought forms from God. But these videos can be helpful for you to have a deeper connection with yourself. And that's why I make these videos, okay? And just to understand more about maybe your vibration. So obviously, being a blue ray, you are very connected. You are from the blue vibration. So you will often see blue colors in your energy field. You might see little blue orbs following you around. This is the blue energies that are attracted to you. You may be quite obsessed with the color blue. And I wore blue today in the Blue Rays honor. So you'll find that you like to wear a lot of blue, or you just have a lot of blue around your house. Blue, the vibration calls you, because it is you, because you are of that. That is the ray. There's different rays, there's different frequencies. That is the ray that you flow from. Blue rays are born healers. As a soul family, as a soul frequency, you came here to heal with sound, with words, toning, chanting. Make wonderful shamans, again, like I said, brilliant at light language, singing, bringing in change, but also wonderful energy in the hands. So blue rays have very gentle hands, and there's a very pure, loving energy that flows from the blue rays' hands. So brilliant healers, shamans, light workers, energy therapists. Also can make wonderful carers in the caring roles, okay? Working with the elderly, brilliant, because again, that very humble, gentle, passive, peaceful energy that blues have is wonderful in people who are convalescing, who are sick, people who need care. Blue rays can also be good with children, but sometimes if they were to work in structured services around children like creches or schools, that wouldn't necessarily work with the blue rays energy, because blue rays, like many of some of the other starseeds, especially indigos, are not a fan of the old paradigm of 3D structures that have this kind of cattle mentality, the sheep mentality, where it's just herds of people ushered in to do the same thing and do it this way. And, that very linear mindset is not of the blue ray. So they're probably better working with children in a one-to-one or as a childminder, that kind of thing, babysitting, that kind of thing. Or if they're a therapist, a lot of blue rays become speech therapists, working with children through that way, or special needs. That's another one. A lot of blue ray souls study and work with children with special needs, and that's ideal. That's really, really good for the blue ray soul. I did get a message from someone there recently asking what kind of work that you should be doing if you're a blue ray. And this is the man who said he lives in London, and he wants to know what should he be doing. Well, that's up to you to decide. You get to decide, my love, what you do with your life. But the guidance I can give you around that would be, like what I just said, roles where you get to care and you get to make a difference and you get to contribute, you get to share your knowledge, to teach. Again, teaching is so natural for Blu-rays, but they may not like the rules and regulations of the very third dimensional structure that schools can be, unless they can get a job in a very open-minded school that's high conscious, which, you know, there's more and more of those schools showing up now. We have a big shift in our education, and the old ways that were very restrictive and old-fashioned are crumbling. So there's definitely room for Blu-rays as teachers, and teaching in their own way, in a very progressive way, because Blu-rays are highly evolved beings, they're highly evolved souls, and they came here with a very strong purpose and mission in mind. Now, they'll often be more behind the scenes rather than the indigos, who kind of are the leaders up front and very involved in the organizations, the structures, the economy, the making of those new inventions of how we're going to be in the fifth dimension. The Blu-rays are often, as I said, that kind of, they don't need the limelight. They don't need attention. In fact, many Blu-rays don't like attention, which is why it can prevent them from actually getting out into the world and using their voice and having an opinion, because they're incredibly gentle and incredibly loving, and they don't want to ever offend anybody. But this is something that I feel Blu-rays have to work through and have to get through, because in order for you to be respected and to live out your purpose in the world, you're going to have to open up, crack open the shell of that throat chakra and actually speak up for yourself and have a voice, and not be afraid to share your gift in any way, in whatever way that comes across for you. It's important now that you do that. And I said in the last video in January 2018 that it was a very important time for the Blu-rays, and I said to come out of the shadows and to take off your cloak, okay? And I have witnessed that in the past 2 years. It's been amazing. I'd say in the past 2 to 3 years, I've seen a shift in a lot of us starseed souls stepping forward and actually carving out our own place here, and a very powerful place where we are recognized. And I think many Blu-ray souls feel that they're not recognized. They feel like they contribute a lot, they care, and they bring a lot of light, a lot of higher consciousness, a lot of love and tenderness towards the people they cross paths with, and in their jobs, in their work, in their personal lives. Anyone who crosses paths with a Blu-ray soul feels it. They feel that lovely healing energy, that warmth. They're very warm people. But if you're feeling unrecognized, it's important now you get on board with the fifth dimensional track that we're on, and you start to recognize yourself. And this is something I had to learn. I had to give myself the validation, the recognition, and the love to use my gifts in the world, and to speak and express my heart, and to share what my soul understands and knows. Nobody else could give me that validation. Nobody was going to carve out that place in the world for me. Nobody knocked on my door and said, here you go, here's your mantle. I had to create that mantle. I had to say, okay, this is where I am, this is who I am, this is what I know, and I want to help, I want to contribute. I mean, these videos are a big part of that. This is me helping and sharing and caring with all of you. So that's important, that if you're feeling stuck still with that, because there should have been, like, there's definitely been a shift for, especially for blue rays and for crystals in the last few years, around not just making the work, but actually being respected and honored and desired in the work, and actually getting paid for your work. You know, that's really important as well. Not being too passive about, it's about power. It really is. It's about fully embracing your source power flowing through you and flowing through your place in the world, and shining out that blue light into the world and allowing people to see you. Because blues in the past, up until the last few years, were quite happy to hide behind the shadows and to stay behind closed doors. But then there was this sadness, this feeling of loss and regret, and maybe even very strong unfulfilled, like, dissatisfaction with life, because you didn't come here to play the linear role. You know, you didn't come here to be unconscious. You are a very conscious being, and most blues are born with that consciousness intact. So you came here to do the work, to spread the truth, to share the knowledge, and you do that by reaching out and by being your true blue self and by being authentic. And when you do that, you actually free other people to be authentic and to love themselves and to be comfortable. And that's another big thing with blues. People feel so comfortable in a blue ray's presence. They know there's no judgment, because there's genuinely no judgment going on. There's no nitpicking, there's no criticism, there's no judgmental thoughts in their energy field, and people feel that. And that's why blues make really good healers, teachers, carers, singers, performers. When a blue is in its power, when you're in your power as a blue, you will perform beautifully. Also great writers, you know, brilliant authors can write amazing material. Poetry, you know, a poet. Blues are channelers, absolutely. Most channelers you see will have strong blue ray frequency in their energy, if not, you know, 90% blue ray soul. But again, that's a blue ray who is living their life from their heart, from their power center, and knowing their worth. So self-esteem issues, confidence issues, having a voice can be a big challenge in childhood for blues. But once they actually, you know, break out of the crackle of the fear of using their voice and actually use their voice, amazing work can be done. And the toning can be very powerful as well. Now, blues are often and will choose to be born into families that are completely opposite to you. So you'll find that if you're blue, your mother and father or your brothers and sisters, or maybe all, or maybe one or two, or will be very different to you. And they won't be necessarily, they'll be much more linear. They'll be much more 9 to 5, you know, 2 holidays a year, chit chat, you know, what's on the news, just very kind of less inclined to be highly conscious. So blue rays can incarnate, and often it's, you know, it is a decision, it's a choice in the non-physical to come into families that will be very, very different vibrationally to who they are. And it will also be tough on them, because they'll often feel like they don't get recognition or validation or the love that they need in a way that they want from their family members. Not all their family members, but there'll often be 1 or 2 that will really challenge the blue ray to put their weirdness away, and, you know, what's the spiritual weird stuff, and they won't necessarily get it. But it should be irrelevant for you at this stage in your consciousness. You've got to say to yourself, It's irrelevant what anybody else thinks of my gifts. I know that I chose these gifts and they are a gift from source for me to express here. So that's the most important thing, that you're doing that. Trying to think what else. I'm aware of time. I think I've gone on longer than I expected here. If you've any questions around Blu-ray frequencies, anything you're struggling with, please leave it in the comments below, and I will do more videos on the blues, and I will answer your questions. So please give this video a lovely thumbs up, and you can comment if you're a Blu-ray, if you feel there's some area I haven't covered. I'm just in from work, I'm starving, and while the light is here, and I know that some of you blues have been commenting before, and I really wanted to reach out to you today. So yeah, I'd love to hear if you have any questions that you struggle with in your life maybe, or just any general question about being a Blu-ray soul, and I will answer that in very soon in a future video. We'll keep this theme going. Okay, so thumbs up, please give me a like, and share it with any other blue soul you know maybe needs to have that sense of belonging, because there is a shift that's happened. It's very, very clear with these 5D, with the movement into 5D, where Blu-rays are getting really, really good recognition and getting wonderful job opportunities, and really speaking up for themselves and letting their blue light shine out into the world and helping a lot of people along the way. But again, it's that beautiful, gentle, healing. It's a lovely soothing. They have a lovely soothing energy. They're very popular. People love being around them, but they often don't know that about themselves. They often can't see how beautiful, how lovely they are as a soul being, because there's not a strong ego hold in their energy. They're very selfless. They're very giving. They love to give, and they like to live simple, clean lives. You know, they like to eat well and live well, and they love fresh air. They love being out under the blue sky. That's their favorite thing. They love the sea, the blue sea. But they like simple, humble lives. They're very sincere. But again, I think in some ways they've been a bit overlooked, because they're not this big, strong energy in your face. And sometimes the work they do is thankless. You know, people don't thank them, because it might just be one or two little words they said to someone that they crossed paths with that day. But again, I feel that is changing. I feel like people are recognizing true spiritual wisdom from the different soul groups now. And I feel like anyone who's conscious can feel those beautiful frequencies that belong to each of us individually and collectively as star seeds having a human experience here. Thanks so much, and blue blessings to you.